Hey there, welcome to Read the Archive. Today we're diving into the pixelated world of arcade glory. Grab your quarters because we're about to count down the top 10 classic arcade games of all time. These are the games that defined a generation and continue to influence the gaming world today. Let's get started. Number 10. Pac-Man. Released in 1980 by Namco, this little yellow muncher changed the game literally. Pac-Man's success paved the way for future games to incorporate character and narrative elements, influencing the gaming industry for decades. This Namco creation was one of the first games to appeal to both men and women, thanks to its non-violent nature and universal appeal, even getting a continuation of the game, but we'll get to that later on in the list. It was a cultural phenomenon worldwide. It inspired everything from songs and cartoons to a breakfast cereal. With its simple yet addictive gameplay, Pac-Man challenged players to navigate its labyrinthine mazes while evading the four ghosts: Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. Each ghost had its own unique behavior pattern, adding depth to the game's strategy. Number 9. Space Invaders. Released in 1978 by Taito, this game was a cultural phenomenon. The eerie sound of descending aliens became iconic. Space Invaders was so popular in Japan at one point, it caused a national coin shortage. It easily became a pioneer in the gaming industry, establishing the high score system that encouraged players to keep inserting coins in hopes of beating their own records or those of others. The game's relentless wave of advancing aliens created a sense of urgency and excitement that captivated players. Space Invaders also introduced the concept of destructible cover, which added an extra layer of strategy as players had to decide when to stay protected and when to fire back. The game's impact was so profound that it helped launch the golden age of arcade games, influencing countless developers and games that followed. Number 8. Donkey Kong. Before Mario became a superstar, he was just a carpenter trying to save his girlfriend from a giant ape. Released in 1981 by Nintendo, Donkey Kong was one of the first platformers and introduced us to the legendary Shigeru Miyamoto. It was originally supposed to be a Popeye game, but thankfully licensing issues led to the creation of our favorite Italian plumber. But back to Donkey Kong, it was a trailblazer in introducing a narrative to video games. Players followed the story of Jumpman, later known as Mario, as he climbed ladders and dodged barrels to rescue his beloved Pauline from the clutches of the titular ape. The game's multi-level structure and increasing difficulty kept players coming back for more. Its success also marked a turning point for Nintendo, establishing the company as a major player in the gaming industry and laying the groundwork for future hits like Super Mario Bros. And The Legend of Zelda. Number 7. Galaga. This 1981 sequel to Galaxian upped the ante with more complex enemy patterns and the beloved dual fighter mechanic. Players loved the strategic depth of rescuing their captured ship to double their firepower. Galaga took the space shooter genre to new heights with its engaging gameplay and innovative features. The game's signature move, the ability to let your ship be captured by an alien tractor beam and then rescue it to create a dual fighter, added a thrilling risk-reward element. Players had to balance shooting enemies while avoiding friendly fire on their own captured ship. Galaga's influence can be seen in countless space shooters that followed, and its legacy is celebrated in modern gaming, with ports and remakes available on numerous platforms. Number 6. Street Fighter II. Released in 1991 by Capcom, this game transformed the fighting genre with its diverse roster and special moves. It was the first game to feature combos, a mechanic discovered by accident during testing. Street Fighter II dominated the 90s arcade scene and sparked countless tournaments and rivalries. Street Fighter II's popularity led to numerous sequels, spin-offs, and adaptations, cementing its place as a cornerstone of the fighting game genre. The game's competitive scene is still alive today, with tournaments held worldwide, showcasing its lasting impact on the gaming community. Number 5. Asteroids. Launched in 1979 by Atari, this game was a hit with its unique vector graphics and physics-based gameplay. Players had to navigate an asteroid field, shooting and dodging to survive. Asteroid's success helped cement Atari's place in gaming history. With its minimalist vector graphics, which gave the game a distinctive look compared to its contemporaries, the game's use of inertia and momentum added a layer of realism and challenge, requiring players to master precise control of their spaceship. Asteroids also featured a high degree of replayability, with random asteroid formations and UFOs that kept players on their toes. Its popularity helped establish Atari as a leader in the arcade industry, and its influence can be seen in many space shooters that followed. Number 4. Defender. Created by Williams Electronics in 1981, Defender was known for its fast-paced action and complex controls. Players had to protect astronauts from alien abduction while managing multiple buttons and a joystick. The game's complex control scheme included thrust, fire, reverse, smart bombs, and hyperspace buttons, requiring players to develop quick reflexes and strategic thinking. Defender's high difficulty level and fast-paced action made it a favorite among skilled players, and its influence can be seen in many subsequent shooter games that adopted its side-scrolling mechanic. Number 3. Ms. Pac-Man. Released in 1982. I told you we'd come back to this. Ms. Pac-Man is the unofficial sequel to Pac-Man and quickly became a classic in its own right. With new mazes, smarter ghosts, and a female protagonist, Ms. Pac-Man was a huge hit. Interestingly, it started as an unauthorized hack of the original game, but was later embraced by Namco due to its popularity. Ms. Pac-Man expanded upon the success of its predecessor with improved graphics, 4 different maze designs, and increased AI complexity for the ghosts. The introduction of moving fruit bonuses and dynamic gameplay elements kept players engaged and challenged. Ms. Pac-Man's success helped pave the way for future games with strong female protagonists, proving that video games could appeal to a diverse audience. Its enduring popularity has led to countless ports and adaptations, solidifying its place in gaming history. Number 2. Centipede. From 1981, this is another classic from Atari. Players had to destroy a centipede winding its way down the screen, along with spiders and other creepy crawlies. Centipede was one of the first arcade games to have a significant female player base, thanks to its approachable gameplay and unique controls. The game's colorful graphics and dynamic action made it a favorite among arcade goers. Centipede's success helped break down barriers in the gaming industry, demonstrating that games could attract a broad audience and leading to the development of more inclusive and accessible titles. Number 1. Tetris. This Soviet-born puzzle game took the world by storm in the 80s and 90s. Created by Alexei Pajitnov in 1984, Tetris' simple yet addictive gameplay captured the hearts of millions. The Game Boy release in 1989 made it a global phenomenon. It was even the first game played in space. Russian cosmonaut Alexander Serebrov took it aboard the Mir space station in 1993. Tetris's appeal lies in its elegant simplicity and universal accessibility. The game's premise is straightforward. Fit falling tetraminos together to complete lines and clear the screen. However, as the speed increases, players must rely on quick thinking and spatial awareness to keep up. Tetris's success transcends cultural and linguistic barriers, making it one of the most recognizable and enduring games in history. Its influence is seen in countless puzzle games that followed, and its timeless appeal continues to captivate players around the world. That's it for our top 10 classic arcade games of all time. These games not only defined a generation, but also laid the groundwork for the gaming industry we know today. Which of these classics is your favorite? Did we miss any iconic games? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more awesome gaming content. Until next time, continue to read the archive.